So when we start a practice, we want to make an impact. And we want to think through, well, if my practice fails, like what would that mean?
So if you've got two therapists standing in front of you and one has their supposed shit together, maybe they have a business plan, maybe they have a mission statement, maybe they even have like a niche and an idea of who their ideal client is, and the other person maybe doesn't know those things. The first person isn't necessarily a badass. They maybe just listened to a few more podcasts, they read a few more blog posts, and maybe they feel a little bit further ahead. But on the surface, they don't look all that different. What changes the game for me is the fact that they are willing to try stuff, even if they don't have 100% of the information. They're willing to take some risks.
Kind of the giants of the field that really make it are the ones that they'll try something and they'll experiment, and if it fails, that gives them information, and if it succeeds, it gives them information.
It's okay to fail, right? I think if you're failing at something, it's a sign that you're pushing yourself towards something bigger and better, all right? So don't be afraid of that, afraid of failing. Embrace your imperfections, right? It's okay if it's not perfect, right? Just put it out there. If you need to edit it, if you need to adjust it, that's okay.
Because we as therapists, if we want to survive in the business world, we have to be willing to adapt, and we have to be able to learn things that maybe aren't quite up our alley.
You know, like we're so focused on just building practices. I don't know if we're focused enough on what do we do when what we're building really takes a hit from one thing or another.
Well, I think that's a really good point that, you know, part of it for a practice owner is constantly evaluating, how do I make being here at my practice easier or more appealing than going out and starting your own thing? It can sometimes be overwhelming to do all the things it takes to start a practice. And I would say, I want you to take imperfect action instead of perfect inaction. If you have that e-course, or you have that workbook, or you have that keynote or webinar, that's going to make it easier to scale. Whereas if you stay in that kind of hour-to-hour grind, you're never going to be able to level up, even though it's guaranteed in the short run. It's not necessarily going to make things easier in the long run.
I'm a better director because I listen to the people who I work with. I can't always do everything they want, but they come up with so many really good ideas.
And I think, you know, if you have this big idea, if you want to go beyond your practice, you have to really start carving out time to work on these big ideas. Schedule that time every week. It's going to get done, but it's going to take much longer. And I think that for most of us, if we have these big ideas, it's really where our passion's at. Right? And I think we get caught up in this day-to-day, grind in our practice where, it sort of takes us away from our big ideas.